Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode number 5 of the Off-Farm Income Podcast. It is exciting to have you, and it's exciting to be back the day after New Year, so welcome to 2015. This is your host, Matt Breckwald, welcoming you to this episode and telling you about what we're going to talk about today. So today we are going to be discussing the business of equine massage. We have a special guest today named Gail Rose, whose business is called The Rose Touch, and you will learn much more about her in the interview forthcoming. I want to say in advance that I apologize for the audio on Gail's interview. Now, just to let you know, this is the 5th podcast that I've released, but it's the first podcast that I've released where I conducted an interview with somebody over the telephone. And I have the equipment recommended by Cliff Ravenscraft of the podcast Answer Man to conduct interviews over the telephone. But I live out in the country. The sound quality goes down a little bit. There's a little bit of fuzz and a little bit of static. But most of the people that I'm interviewing for you are not going to be able to be interviewed on Skype. And even if they are, and if you don't know what that is, that's for me to speak with them over the internet and get a clearer signal. But even if they are able to be interviewed on Skype, I live out in the country on our farm, and so we do not have good internet service out here. Our ability to upload and download signal out here is limited, and I'm not going to trade where I live for faster internet, so the quality of audio I can give you through Skype is diminished a little bit, and there's a chance that it goes out and it gets garbled and things like that. So I am interviewing people on the telephone over the regular conventional hardline telephone lines, which is great because my 8-year-old saw the phone, didn't know what it was. Then she was all excited and wanted to try and use it, and then had to ask me how you use a phone like that, and that really, really aged me. But anyway, this was my first interview over the phone, first interview using this equipment, and I did not get the audio levels quite right, so I'm going to be louder than Gail, and Gail's you're going to have to turn it up to hear her just a little bit. And I've made some adjustments to try and make that less of an issue for you. But I want to apologize in advance as I'm trying to learn this technology and get this all worked out and done appropriately. But I am interviewing people all over the country for you, and so the telephone is the way I'm having to do it. And that's just fine with me, but I'd like better sound quality. But for now, it is what it is. So wanted to let you know that in advance and apologize for that. But let you know that's a real quality interview. That's great information given by Gail. It is another industry that I had never, ever heard of until I found her and started interviewing her about this. And what an interesting job she has here, too. And this business is great because extremely low overhead. She had to go get some training and certifications, but as far as equipment goes, it's equine massage. She carries that equipment around with her every day. So very, very interesting business with a really good profit margin to talk about. And special thanks goes out to the first 500 people who downloaded our podcast. I'm blown away and very excited that we've had well over 500 downloads now, but at the time that I was recording this and prepping all these introductory statements and things like that, we were just right at 500 downloads, which is very exciting to me because officially, I did not really launch the podcast until the 18th of December, and here we are on the 31st as I'm making this little announcement, and I'll be releasing this on the 2nd of January. So, very, very exciting time. Thank you very much for all those downloads, and tell a friend. Thank you so much. So, enjoy this interview with Gail Rose of The Rose Touch, and I'll talk to you at the end. Hi, everybody. This is Matt with the Off-Farm Income Podcast, and today I'm excited to introduce our guest, Gail Rose, who is an equine sports massage therapist with the Rose Touch, serving the area of the west coast of Florida and southern Georgia, Alabama, and probably anywhere in the south that you need her services. So we're here to talk today about Equissage and about how she conducts her business and what Equissage is and how it works. So how are you today, Gail?
Matt, I'm great. I'm glad to hear from you.
Well, thank you so much for coming on the Off-Farm Income Podcast. Really excited to have you as a guest. And I've got some questions to go through with you to talk a little bit about your business and help other people understand what Equissage is. Are you ready to go?
Sure.
Okay, great. Well, let's start off, and can you tell me a little bit about you personally?
Well, I'm semi-retired. My husband has been in the horse business for many years. He used to exercise racehorses, but when we were working in Louisiana, we owned 3 racehorses, and our racehorses, of course, got regular massages, and because people in and around us saw the benefits, then of course I was hired to do their horses. Well, in fact, back in I think it was either 2003 or 2004. It wasn't too long right after I had my certification. We had some friends here at Tampa Bay Downs, and the one lady said, "Why don't you come and do my horse this afternoon?" And wouldn't you know, that following week she won her first race. So
Oh, really?
Yes.
So you've got the Midas touch when it comes to the racehorses.
I hope so.
That's great. Give me kind of an overview of your business. How does it work, and where are your focus areas, things like that?
Well, I don't know if you want to talk about money right now, but the main layout is to get certified. And, of course, I was certified by Equissage. That's Mary Shriver. She is the owner and founder of the Equissage procedure, and she runs regular classes. Her website is up and running, and I know she has regular classes. I don't think she has as many as she used to, but she is the person that did the Equissage method of massage for horses. She is a registered nurse. She's also a massage therapist for humans, and then she developed the procedure for horses. And of course, that's much more rewarding.
And
because horses don't lie. When you hit a bad spot on them and you treat the muscle spasm, they just let you know. It's like they totally relax. And I've told my husband so many times that, you know, when you have that feeling and you just feel all of that tension go out of those muscles, and the horse just relaxes under your touch, it's just so overwhelming.
And so you mentioned Mary, and she is the source of your certification.
Right.
And you mentioned her website, and I had looked that up, and that's equissage.com, or www.equissage.com. And Equissage is spelled Equissage. So that's kind of the certifying body that you went to be able to do this.
Now, there are other methods out there. I know different areas, that agricultural areas, have like a college class where they teach another method, but I know it's more money and more time also.
Okay.
But it all depends what the person wants to do. I only got involved with it because, of course, I was part owner of horses, and I had friends that had racehorses, and my business is mainly racehorses. Yes, I have massage and quarter horses and pintos, Percheron.
So you've kind of worked on the gamut here, the wide array of different types of horses.
Yes.
I see. And so, did your business kind of pick you, or did you pick a business?
Well, it kind of picked me because I was already in it.
Already involved in the horses. And that's really kind of what this podcast is about, is people who've got a love and an interest when it comes to agriculture, and wherever that leads them. It could be farming, it could be cattle, it could be horses, wherever that leads them. What can they do to kind of support themselves but keep working where they want to work, or with the animals they want to work with, or in the area they want to work with? So this is really great to discuss what you've done and the way that your love and your passion for horses kind of led you into this business, where you got to keep working with them and find a source of income that way.
I know you're talking about some young people to get them started. If they're already in the business, like with farming and be it race horses or show horses or whatever, if they're already in it and they're not afraid of horses, that's the big thing. Because, in fact, when we were in class, there were some people that in class that had like never even had their hands on a horse, because if you hit a wrong spot or whatever, that horse is going to react, and unless you know what a horse is going to do. That's 1,100 pounds of animal that could shift, and if you're not ready for them or haven't been around them, it could be a little unnerving.
Well, and I know how I react when I've got sore muscles and somebody hits the wrong spot. I can't imagine a horse. Well, that's interesting. So for just to kind of explain to the listeners, Equissage is deep muscle massage on horses to help improve their performance.
Right. Well, Equissage is the method that Mary teaches.
I see.
And that's her registered business.
Okay.
Like, on my flyer, I have Equissage trained and certified.
Okay.
Now, there are other equine massage methods out there.
Okay.
Of course, they don't go in the same procedure that Equissage does, but with Equissage, it's, from what I have seen, it's the best full body massage on a horse that there is.
Okay. Well, we've kind of explained what it is that you do and how this business pertains to your love and your passion for horses, and kind of how you found this business or this business found you. Let's get into the nuts and bolts a little bit, that if there's somebody out there listening to us that has this interest, or maybe have never heard of this but all of a sudden just realized, wow, here's a way that I can work with horses. Let's get into the nuts and bolts a little bit of what you did to get up and going. And we'll start by talking about marketing and advertising your business. So what are some of the methods that you use to get the word out about the Rose Touch?
Well, I had my cards made, and of course I just started massaging our horses. And you would be surprised the onlookers that you get while you're in the stall with a horse, from anywhere from 40 to 50 minutes, maybe even an hour, depending on the spasms that are treated. If you find a muscle spasm, then it takes a little longer to treat each one, depending on the severity of it. And of course, these people would kind of be onlookers, and then if they didn't see anything happening within about 5 or 10 minutes, they'd just walk on, because the only one that's getting the benefit of the massage is the horse.
Sure.
But it's just amazing to watch the improvement on the horse after they have received the massage.
So were these onlookers, were you conducting these massages in the stables like at the racetrack?
Yes.
So they
we
were...
had our horses stabled at a training center.
Okay.
And so the different onlookers that would come around said, well, yeah, why don't you come and see my horse? They act like they got something wrong in their shoulder or something wrong in their back end.
Okay.
And so that's how I gained my business, because, well, if I said, well, I did find a little muscle spasm in the back end, I treated it, let's just see how she goes on the track tomorrow, but don't overextend her, just a light gallop until we see if that has gone away.
Well, let me ask you this: if somebody was just getting started, let's say they had the experience with horses or some experience with horses, they had gone off, they'd become certified in one of the methods that are out there, and they were trying to build their reputation based on what your experience was at the track and at the stables and the training center. Would it be reasonable to think that somebody might be able to go out with their certification, with their business cards, with their flyers, and approach people in that type of an environment and say, hey, I'll do a free massage on your horse and let's see what happens to the performance?
I've done several.
Okay.
And that's what they would have to do to get their name out there.
Okay.
Until the owners or the trainers or whoever has control of this horse saw the benefits with their own eyes,
mm-hmm.
they're kind of reluctant to pay for a massage.
Sure. So they've got to build a reputation up a little bit too.
Exactly. Now, my suggestion is, like, say someone has a stable of, say, 20 horses or whatever. They have a boarding stable where they have, they take in the horses for different owners, and then this owner says, well, my horse is acting like there's something wrong. And then they've been vet checked. The best thing to do is get a vet check. And if the vet says, well, nothing shows up, full body massage time.
Okay. All right. And so kind of the moral of the story is that to build your reputation, to get your name out there, you might have to work for free a little bit.
Yes, you do.
But your tools involve your own two hands and your training.
That's correct.
That's
and
kind of
nothing's better than word of mouth.
word of mouth and low overhead sounds like a winner to me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that kind of is a nice segue into funding the business when you're first starting up. And one of the obstacles a lot of people have into starting their own business and trying to come up with a sideline way they can make money is there's a perception out there that you're going to need to go get some sort of investor or a small business loan. You're going to have to go in debt, and this time where you may be working for free and you don't have revenue coming in, you're going to have payments that are going out. So there's some fears about that. In terms of the startup costs in your business, was that oppressive? I mean, certainly there was some cost to get certified, to get your flyers and your business cards and things like that. But was that oppressive, or is that something that a person could save up and do?
Well, they could save up and do it. It's not that expensive, but yeah, it's a cost, and it's a startup cost. But it all depends how they want to go into this. If they have startup costs where they want to go out and buy a new vehicle and everything like that, the business is not going to cover them right away.
Sure.
Because they've got to get going.
But if you can...
Unless, now, like we talked previously where I said, well, maybe someone's already in the area of being like a vet technician or a vet assistant.
Mm-hmm.
Then, if they get certified, then that's a plus. That's definitely a plus.
Okay. But in terms of transportation costs and things like that, I mean, most people that are out there probably have some transportation. Do you necessarily have to have the ability to transport horses to do this business, or can you go on location?
No, of course not. You make house calls.
Okay.
You make horse house calls.
All right. Barn calls.
Right.
I gotcha. Okay. So, every business, well, not every business that people start works. There are plenty of businesses out there that either fail or somebody goes, okay, this isn't going to accomplish the goals I want it to accomplish, so they move on to something else. But in every business that continues to function, there is a point in time where the owner of that business who started that business has a moment and they go, this is going to work. I'm going to be able to continue to do this for the love of doing this, for the revenue, for whatever reason that I'm involved in this business. What point in the development of your business did you realize I'm going to be able to keep doing this and this is going to work out?
Well, because we did own horses, and that's when I said, well, it's benefiting the horses. It got each of them, they broke their maiden, they won their races, and that's what was thrilling to us, because
Sure.
they weren't any Secretariat or they weren't Zenyatta horses. They were just cheap old horses, and they won their races and they did fabulous. So that was really fulfilling to my husband and myself.
Sure.
And then if I was able to benefit someone else when they knew their horse was having problems, like so many times happened down in the shed row from us, all well and good, because anytime you've got hands-on, that's a plus.
Well, and we've all got different reasons for sticking with the businesses that we start or the jobs that we do, and it sounds to me, and don't let me put words into your mouth, but it sounds to me like at the point where you realize just how much intrinsic reward you were getting from this as you're seeing horses win races, and you're seeing them be successful, that's kind of the moment where you went, this is going to work just fine.
I was crying in the winner's circle.
Oh. Did you get to have your photo taken with the horse in the winner's circle as well?
Of course.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
Of course.
Well, considering somebody who
In
might...
fact, I will send it to you.
Yeah, please do. That'd be great.
Mm-hmm.
So regarding somebody who might be interested in starting a business similar to yours, if you could think of 3 pieces of advice that you think would be very important to help them get going, what would those be?
Well, if they want to get started in something like this, they've got to have money up front, of course, to pay for the training. They should be associated with horses in the first place and know what they can do and know all of their idiosyncrasies and not be afraid of them. And just keep at it. Get their word out. Just say, I do equine massage. Can I come massage your horse?
Sure. And so that's kind of an interesting point you brought up in terms of being afraid of horses. I think with any job where you're going to work with horses, just because they're so sensitive.
Any job where you're going to work with large animals.
Sure. Sure, and it seems that
horses, cattle, or anything like that. I mean, you got to let them know that you're not going to hurt them, of course. There's several times I've walked into a stall that the minute I hit the pole, the top of the head on the horse by the ear, they realize, oh my gosh, she's not going to hurt me at all, and the head will go right down.
Sure.
So, because they're a little scared, somebody new walks into their stall, like they're thinking, well, what are they going to do to me? And then the minute that you touch them, that I have found, the head goes down and they go like in a relaxed state. Oh my gosh, she's going to give me a massage.
Well, and you're right about all large animals. I've been working with cattle since high school, and we own and manage cattle here in our place in Idaho. And definitely to be able to work with them effectively, you cannot be afraid of them. You've got to at least have a healthy respect for them, but being fearful is not going to be effective. But in your line of work, what we're talking about, I mean, your contact with the horse is so intimate. You're right there next to it. You're touching it, and you're touching on its very tender muscles and areas where it has some pain possibly. It seems to me that if you were fearful of horses, that would be conveyed through your touch, and I think the horse would be able to tell that. Was that a fair statement?
They would know.
Yeah.
Our gelding was a clown. I mean, he used to do stuff just to aggravate me. He wasn't mean, but he would do stuff. Just to see what he could get away with.
Okay.
And you've got to let them know, like, oh, yeah, you can get away with that, or no, you're not going to do that.
Gotcha. Well, here's a few more questions about the formulation of your business, and some of these businesses, some of these people do when they're beginning their businesses, and some of these steps people skip or they don't need. And I'm just curious, in starting your business, how you did this. One of the things that is so highly recommended, and I sometimes wonder if this is not going to be phased out a little bit, at least on some of the new types of businesses we're seeing these days, is a formal business plan. Now, I personally did not write a formal business plan for my agricultural service business, but how about you guys? Did you create one?
I didn't. My husband and I didn't write a formal business plan. We just said, well, I'm gonna get the training so I can massage our horses, and we'll just see where it takes us.
Okay. And I got to be honest with you, when I was coming out of the public sector and going to work and creating my own business, I felt like there was a lot for me to learn, and everything I looked up and started looking into talked about writing these really detailed, formal business plans, and it was really intimidating to me. Like, I didn't understand what I was reading, and it almost prevented me from going and starting my business. So that's something I like to make clear. Certainly planning is very important, but these really complex things we see out on the internet or through the Small Business Administration sometimes aren't completely necessary.
That's correct.
Now, your business... liability-wise, is liability a concern in the horse massage type business? Are you worried about?
Yes.
Okay.
The best thing to do is sign up and get the policy from Ancient Healing Arts.
Ancient Healing Arts. And they sell an insurance policy?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, is that a type of coverage, or is that actually a company?
It's a coverage, but it's Ancient Healing Arts. And let me think. I'm not sure what the premium is right at the moment.
Can you think of a ballpark, just so people out there can kind of gauge?
I think it was like $200 a year or something like that.
Okay, so not super oppressive.
No, it's not like $1,800 a year like liability would be for like a car business or something like that. You know?
And so can somebody just walk right down to Farmers Insurance and say, I'm starting a horse massage business and I need Ancient Healing Arts coverage?
No. Well, how we did it, of course, when when I was taking my Equissage classes. That's what she recommends.
Okay. And then did you form your company into an LLC to give you...
No, I did not.
Okay, so you stayed as a sole proprietor. Okay. But with the insurance coverage, you're comfortable that you're covered in that respect.
Yes.
Okay. And then, I ask the people that I speak with, what is, if you had to pick one piece of equipment that you had to have to get started, what would that be? But in your case, that might just be the training.
It's the training.
The training and the certification.
You already have your hands attached.
Well, that's interesting. That is, we love low overhead, and boy, do you have low overhead. You've already got your tools, and you take them with you everywhere. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Let me get my hands on your horse.
I see. Okay. So it sounds to me like getting started in your business, you need the training and certification, you need some insurance, and you need the ability to make some marketing materials, flyers, business cards, correct, and then transportation to get you to the place right, where the people with horses are. Are there any...
Yeah, get out where the horses are. If your listeners know where there's like a horse show going on, mm-hmm, maybe they could set up a booth or whatever, once they get their certification to get started. And then as they meet people, say give out a card, a free massage, if, with this card or whatever, if they come to the booth.
Okay. And we were talking earlier, the certification process that you went through, you think now is in the range of around $1,500. Is that correct?
I haven't been on the website lately, but I know the price has gone up over the last 12 years. But I'm not sure what it is. And I know she's got different sites. When I took it, the only site that she had was in Round Hill, Virginia. Mm-hmm. But I know she's got her daughter and daughter-in-law involved in it. One of them is in, I think, South Carolina, and another one is up in New York State.
Okay. So if somebody from across the country wanted to do this and they wanted to go to Equissage, we're looking at airfare. Did you stay at the facility during your training period?
No, I got a motel for the week.
Okay. So
from Sunday through Friday morning.
Okay. So airfare, meals, hotel, certification cost, and an insurance premium for a year. And then you're ready to go out and start contacting people and let them know that you want to get involved in this business and start making it happen, it sounds like.
Yes.
Okay. And, of course, there's that previous knowledge and comfort with horses.
Correct.
Gotcha. Okay. So next question. Since you began, do you offer more products or more services now than when you first started?
No, not really.
So you've kind of stuck with the fundamentals, which is hands-on horses and
full body massage.
And full body massage. And I mean, that's kind of where you focus. That's what you want to be doing, it sounds like. Yeah. Okay. Do you have a particular time of year where you're busier than other times?
Well, yeah, when the racing season is around here in the Florida area.
Okay. And here in Idaho, I
mainly do thoroughbreds.
Okay. Yeah, and we have our racing season here as well. I think everywhere it does. So that's when you're looking at really maximizing your ability to make money in a business like this, of course. Mm-hmm. Okay. And is this particular business, is this your sole form of income?
No, I have been a seamstress for many years, so I make a lot of fun stuff, and I sell that too.
Well, and that's kind of what we focus on here is we're talking about people coming up with supplemental income to help fund their farming operations so they can make, whatever dream they have about farming, ranching, whatever that may be, come true. Sometimes people have to step off of those farms and go out and make some capital come back to support that farm.
I make quilts with horses in them.
Do you really?
Oh, yes.
So this is kind of, your business is kind of exactly right in the wheelhouse of the Off-Farm Income podcast in terms of what we're looking for. Okay. So when you were first, so it sounds to me like you've been entrepreneurial for quite a while. You're a seamstress, you're making things, you've got the horse massage business. Was there ever a point in time where you something was stopping you from going out to work for yourself?
money, I had to go work for somebody else.
So just the uncertainty about being able to bring enough income in right off the bat. Okay, all right. And Gail, what is the best business advice that you've ever received?
Well, this has kind of been great in anything that I've tried to pursue. You're only as good as your last 10 minutes.
Okay. So what does that mean?
That's like what people remember.
Okay.
It's the last 10 minutes that they've seen you, that you've interacted with them, and they remember that.
Okay. All right. And can you think of a personal habit that you've got that contributes to your success with this business?
Just hard work all my life.
So discipline, hard work, and you mentioned earlier to not stop, to keep moving forward.
Yep.
Okay.
Keep going.
Any books out there that you could recommend for somebody who would be interested in this business? Anything that you found to be very helpful or compelling?
Well, Mary Schreiber has her training book, and that helped a lot.
Okay.
That comes with a course, of course.
Okay.
And if I was uncertain, right after I was certified, if I was uncertain of something, of course, I just got out my manual and looked at that, because everything that she does in the training course is right in the manual.
Okay.
Be very thorough.
All right. And so the way to obtain that book is to take her course, and that's the only way to obtain it? Okay. Hi, everybody. I just wanted to break in really quick and talk about those books that Gail was recommending. So she recommended the training book put out by Mary Schreiber for Equissage, and I went on Amazon to look for that, and I could not find it, but I did find links to products that you can buy off of the Equissage website. That website and the link to it will be listed in the show notes, and so you can go there and find out what products are available, what books, DVDs, and things like that, and then you can contact Equissage if you're interested in ordering any of those products. I did go back on Amazon and looked up some resources for you regarding horse massage, and I found 4 that I'm putting up on the website in the show notes. So if you want to purchase those and click through our website to buy those to start your own journey in horse massage or equine massage, that'd be great. The first product is a book called Beyond Horse Massage, a breakthrough interactive method for alleviating soreness, strain, and tension by Jim Masterson and Stephanie Reinhold. And book number 2 is Equine Massage, a Practical Guide by Jean-Pierre, I'm not going to be able to say that last name, Hortebite or something similar to that. And then number 3, The Basic Principles of Equine Massage, Muscle Therapy, Equine Massage, Horse Massage by Mike Scott, who is an equine therapist. And then last, Equine Massage for Performance Horses. And this is a DVD, and it is available and linked to on the website in the show notes as well. So hopefully those resources can help you if you'd like to follow Gail's lead and pursue a business in horse massage. All right. Well,
and it's very fun too. It's a blast from when you walk in there on Monday morning to when you leave on Friday afternoon. It's a blast.
Oh, good. Okay, well, Gail, what is the best way for my listeners to contact you if they'd like to speak with you further, either about your services or ask you about the business?
Okay, my email, of course, is what you have, horsesage@mail.com.
Okay.
Okay, and if you did want to publish my phone numbers that you have, that's fine with me too.
Okay. So the primary phone number that you like to use is area code 941-746-4323. Okay. Mm-hmm. And then on your flyer, you list your cell phone number as well. Yes. Okay to give that out?
Put that on your website, please, Matt.
Okay, I will. I'll put that in the show notes for this episode, and make sure that your email address is up there as well as a copy of your flyer. Well, Gail, thank you so much for the opportunity to speak to you. It's really a lot of fun for me to learn about these different types of businesses and all the creative things people do to continue to work in their passions, especially when it comes to agriculture and livestock. So thank you very much for the time.
And how many more businesses do you have, Matt?
How many do I personally have?
Yeah. I mean, how many are in this area now that you're making a file of?
Oh, I've got a list right now of about 75 different businesses.
That's wonderful.
And I'm always asking listeners and people who read the blog if they've got any ideas on any agricultural service businesses that I haven't covered, to please let me know, because I'd love to speak to people working in those as well. It's really exciting for me to learn about just how innovative people can be when it comes to starting businesses.
Well, that's great.
Yeah, well, thank you very much. I really
Thank
appreciate
you
your
for your
time.
help.
You bet, and good luck to you with this business. It's great.
Okay, Matt. Thanks.
All right, everybody. Well, thank you very much for listening to the Off-Farm Income Podcast. Special thanks to Gail Rose and the Rose Touch for being our guest today and giving us so much valuable information about equine massage. And don't forget to click through the Amazon link at offfarmincome.com or offincome.com to support the podcast. Your clicks help support this and keep bringing this content forward for you. And for Gail Rose and the Rose Touch, this is Matt Breckwald saying, put happiness before your paycheck. Thanks so much for listening.